Well, one of the biggest talking points of the court case of those accused of aiding Thabo Bester to break out of prison last year has been the well-groomed appearance of his alleged accomplice, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, who's been in custody since, well, when Bester and herself were detained in Tanzania, now just over a month ago, I think it was. However, Correctional Services centres are more than just walls and prison cells. They, in fact, are also places where inmates can develop new skills, and some of those are in the field of beauty. Zikhona Tshona went to visit another facility here in Gauteng to find out just how all of this works, and is in studio now to talk us through what you found today. Zikhona, tell us more about how it all works out, basically.
So the Department of Correctional Services has over 40 programs in prisons or correctional services facilities across the country, because the system, that our justice system, involves rehabilitation and correcting of the offenders. So they do a number of skills, including woodwork, they are artisans, and then there's also this salon where they are able to do various skills, doing edges, for example. I had my edges done there today. They do nails, they do hair. So some of them are there for life-term sentences, and when they come there, they actually have no skills. I spoke to a woman who dropped out in grade 11. She's now doing her matric, and she's also one of the supervisors at this hair salon. So the inmates that we interacted with today saying they use that to keep busy and to stay out of trouble in prisons. And they're using that to make sure that should they ever be released or be eligible for parole, that they'll be able to find work or be able to do work, because many of them have spent much of their adult life inside prison, so therefore they wouldn't have had interaction or be able to develop any other skills. So this is it for them. And
we're showing now pictures of you, in fact, getting your makeup done by the inmates. This is at Hoshi-Mampuru, I believe, Correctional Centre here in Pretoria. So am I right to say this would explain, for example, why people such as Dr. Magudumana and Nomi Ndlovu, for example, when we've seen them in court, have had their hair done, a bit of makeup as well. So it's not unusual.
It's not unusual at all. In fact, what I heard today is that Mondays and Tuesdays in particular at this facility are designated for inmates to do makeup and hair on themselves. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, any inmate can come to the hair salon and have either their hair done or their nails done or whatever the case may be for free. And when they do have programs where their families are allowed to visit them for a prolonged period of hours, they are allowed to do their hair for their friends or family members who come into the facility at a fee. So that's how the facility is able to run itself. And also the trainers at all the skills development workshops at the facilities are done by wardens who had to go out and learn these skills so that they can come back and teach these inmates all the skills that they've learned.
I'm curious, as you're saying, so the families of inmates are able to also come in and they use, for want of a better word, am I right, this is basically a bonding time with your incarcerated loved one. You were there as a journalist. You got to see the services. You had your makeup done. Is it only open to loved ones, relatives, basically, who come to visit? Or is the public also allowed to come in? I'm also thinking of the element of safety, for instance, because some of these are dangerous criminals.
So the public is not permitted to go into the hair salon, for example. The service is only used by inmates themselves. So inmates go there to develop their skills. So that's how they keep their skills growing and be able to do something that is new. For example, knotless braids are the new trend. Even then, they are able to do knotless braids, dabrats, whatever the case may be. But if you have a visitor, if your loved one is visiting and they want to have some gelish done, you can do your gelish during the visiting time that you are spending with your family. But the other programs, such as where they make furniture, those go to departments, for example. I was at one of the steels workshop. They are busy working with a public healthcare facility in Gauteng to develop their beds, make new beds for them, as well as trolleys. So it's a good way to make sure that state funds are not wasted. So we're using skills from the correctional services facilities to also help out in public government departments.
All right, Zikhona Tshona, thank you so much for that. Zikhona's report, by the way, on these programs will air tonight on Newzroom Afrika between 6 and 8 p.m. That's during News at Prime, and then we'll also put it up for you on our YouTube page and broadcast it hopefully in the morning as well, with load shedding. All things considered, we'll have that for you to see throughout the coming hours.